Estonia is a fun place to do business. My history with Estonia actually started quite a long time ago. I discovered it through this program they have called e-Residency, which allows you to sign up and create a company in Estonia. I became an e-resident simply because I was fascinated with the idea of a government trying to do something, one, for people outside their borders, because this program's exclusively for people who are not Estonian, and second, that a government was trying to innovate, trying to create new ways to do business. Because I don't know about you, but me as an American, that's not a particularly common idea, is that the government's working for me instead of I have to work kind of with the government, try to figure out how to do things.
Who mostly takes up that program? I don't know if you've got any official statistics or just from anecdotally. Is it mostly Americans? Is it other people within Europe? Is it people outside of Europe?
Yeah, I actually have quite a few statistics we can go through if you want to.
Yeah.
The biggest by number right now is actually Ukraine, because obviously doing business in Ukraine right now is very difficult. They're not part of the EU either. So when a Ukrainian wants to sell services in the EU, they typically create a entity in the EU, which Estonia is in the EU. So having an Estonian company means you have a EU entity. I think it's about 30, 40, maybe 50% of e-residents actually running a company are in the EU. So they're Germans, or they're in Spain, or Italians, etc. And typically, the reason those people choose Estonia is the ease of doing business. There's tons of examples of crazy things that you have to do to run a company in some of these countries. For instance, I learned recently that when you name your Spanish company, you don't name your Spanish company. You give the Spanish government 3 or 4 options of what you think your company should be called, and then they write back to you after a certain number of weeks with what your company is named. That kind of blew my mind. Another example is in Germany. Basically, anytime you want to do anything, change anything about how your company is run, how the shareholders are structured, anything, you have to go to a notary. And of course, you have to go to a notary in Germany, or you have to go through another process to make that all happen. So there's lots of reasons why EU citizens end up creating a company in Estonia, because it's so much easier, so much faster. Another big problem is getting VAT numbers. So sometimes getting a VAT number in a country can take 4, 6, 8 weeks, and you can't bill anyone until then. So if you have a contract that starts today and you need to bill them today so you can live for the next few months, people need a quick solution. And then outside of the EU, so these are people who reside somewhere else typically, or they're from somewhere else and they might reside in the EU. There's a lot of different reasons why people do it. A lot of Americans do it for ease of doing business, or to get access to the EU in an easier way than with a US company. Other countries, for instance, where it's difficult to get banking systems to interact with Western banking, countries such as India, or I'm trying to think of a few more examples, but sometimes it can be very difficult to actually get payments cross-border between those countries. Turkey is another example, where there's either capital controls or there's actually just a lot of financial crime issues. So if they're able to kind of prove that they're legitimate and they get Estonian e-residency, and then they prove to the bank they're legitimate, then they have a European bank, and it's a lot easier to interact with the rest of the Western financial system from an EU entity than it is from their kind of home country.
That makes a lot of sense. Don't get me started on the Argentinian system. Love this country. It's great. But oh my God, trying to get anything done in terms of the bureaucracy is on another level, and trying to bank with any transactions into or out of Argentina are just a real pain in the butt. So maybe that.
And there you have it.
Hey, it's Ryan here. If you like that video, please click the like and subscribe button somewhere down there, and check out the full interview right over here. Go on, click it. You know you want to.